up a free stock. Also got the bike. Great maneuverability. Not going to be able to be punished too hard when you collide those disjointed hitboxes with the bike itself. And we're going to see where the chips are falling. Who is going to garner the favor of the fans, and who is going to take the glory in this first time set?
Let's get this going. It is GP versus SBF in losers round 1. Loser best will finish 7th. Winner moves on in the brackets. See who wants it more. We have gone to small battlefield SBF with SBF already kicking things off.
Amen to that. We got the 6 pints tag. It hurts all of us. It's very painful. Everything is expensive here in London, as looks like GP already paying the price himself. Those northern conversions are something quite different, let me tell you. As he's finally able to get a bit of stage control back, tries to buy a bit of time, throws out a couple of hitboxes. He just needs time to think as that bike does collide with him. There's the explosion, but a fantastic spot dodge from GP to avoid any type of stun. Sends him up, but does not send him out.
Okay, and you can already see how SBF is starting to approach this matchup. Keep this distance, keep it a little bit kind of a slower pace, because he knows how explosive Ike can be. Especially, he gets one hit, and you could suddenly lose your entire stock for it. And SBF knows that. He knows he needs to play careful. Find his hits, meticulously plan them out.
And I really like the way that SBF is playing a lot of his grabs there, but alas, he just can't touch the ground. GP, he's got rage, but does he have the strength to get a little bit more chip on the block? See if we get a throw there, forward throw to send off, not going to kill, B-reverse on the bike, sends it up, it is in play. If he goes for a roll, he can choose to catch him, but the perfectly spaced dash attack. And that thing is stressful to land, by the way. You dash attack through that bike, you've got to have practiced not picking it up and not colliding with that fucking thing.
Absolutely. It just gets in the way, honestly, but it is such a useful tool at the same time. And actually, just what we saw there, getting a kill was actually so crucial because, again, we talked about how scary I could be an advantage. And SBF knows that. He really does not want them to get anything off. He does not want to be falling behind, and it's just not going to happen when you're 2 on them.
Amen to that. Unfortunately, GP eating a fat jab lock waft, and there's no one you can blame there but yourself. Well, maybe Sakurai, if you're that kind of guy. I'm sure we'll hop on Twitter later and we'll take care of that one. But suddenly, after a fantastic start, GP now has to bring it all the way back. We're likely not going to see another waft this game, but if GP's going to play his cards right, the timer might just tick down and we might see even a half charge.
Absolutely. This is quite a scary position for GP to be in here. As you say, he's got to recognize that as the clock does, tick down, that waft is going to be slowly coming back more online. So he needs to be finding these kills sort of now. He wants to make sure that this game ends quickly before that waft becomes a problem again.
And if there's one thing I absolutely adore about SBF, it's the way he uses bike. In the fact that he kind of he uses it as an obstacle, he uses it as a hazard. Now, for some reason, I could write a 3,000-word essay on how Ike dash attack works. I don't know why, but it's just super interesting. The fact that it can be spaced so well and is such a fantastic kill option for Ike if you can space it perfectly, but if you throw a bike down, that thing will be your tomb, because you will be caught super early on the hitbox and you will just stand there like a muggins, Smar.
Okay, both players just resetting there, and SBF actually letting loose a bit of the tooth there, so that waft is now completely gone.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen. My eyes!
Why would you go for it?
Also, I'm pretty certain that was slightly disrespectful. He just shat himself in neutral. There's no bones about it.
He just decided the bar for absolutely no reason. There was absolutely zero reason to go for that.
But there is one comeback mechanic down, but there's a second I've got in mind there, Smar. Shoulder barrage is going to nip that tulip in the bud, though.
Okay, SBF taking the first game here. GP is starting to find a bit of lethal life in that last stock, but in the end, just the deficit being a little bit too much. But what an explosive first game between these two. We saw almost that was 2 users of the waft there.
Yep.
One of them, obviously, we're going to pin down to being a mistake.
That's creative.
But yeah, but absolutely, it's just GP, for sure recognizing just how scary those
it really is the stress that Wario puts into you. That character is good. You have got to be prepared for so much. And then even after you've got everything down, you've got the bike use, you've got the nair out of shield, you've got those rising you know, down airs or those up specials that force you to tech. Once you got all those, great. Oh, I missed a jab, and now I'm dead at 40, man. Christ! It's a nightmare.
And as you say, like, it's such an intimidation factor as well. Because unlike a lot of, you know, intimidation factors like, say, Cloud's limit, that obviously goes away in time. So you can at least kind of camp it out. You can, you know, wait for that limit bar just to go down. But with Waft, that sticks around.
It's the constipation, man. It's crazy.
And even if you lose the Wario loses stock, that is still sticking around. And that is just, so it's that constant intimidation that SBF doesn't actually necessarily need to use it. It could just keep it.
Amen to that, as the bike recovery does go high. The bike is in play, but if SBF can't find a way to land, picks up the bike, sends it back to center, but that could actually come back to hurt him. Goes a bit further, just trying to deny a bit of ground, slices the bike in half with one swing of the blade, but can he make his way out of the situation? And I really like how SBF uses those tech situations. He forces him down, and he doesn't immediately pick an option, because if he runs into him, he's covering inward rolls by going for like a B reverse grab, so he can just force GP to give up stage control, and that's what he needs, because he forced this Ike off stage. Suddenly he really begins to show his weakness. As we move back in, looks like GP with the opener right now, but we've been here before. You ever get that feeling of deja vu, as the rising nairs are not quite enough to get him through. Gonna see if we can make anything magical happen here. GP just holding space, refusing to let SBF in until he just plain kicks down the door.
And again, SBF just showing, once again, recognizing the threat of allowing Ike with a lead. So eliminating that stock as quickly as possible. Even if he had to go on the aggression to do it. And now getting something started here. GP obviously going to be recognizing that Waft is slowly coming online, if not already online.
Little by little, step by step,
and
dash by dash. That looked like it to me, as the forward throw sends him off. And hey, maybe he doesn't even want to use the Waft this late. 115, that is a back air.
Absolutely, at this point,
number.
At this point, SBF definitely going to be wanting to just keep hold of that Waft. You know, wait to get GP's second stock off and then keep it for that final one. That would definitely be the best use of it. But of course, it all does just play down to, you know, if SBF needs to just eliminate the stock before it becomes a problem. We have talked about so much about Ike's advantage state. So if SBF does just need to say, okay, right, no, this stock needs to go. And of course, this Ike's still hanging on.
Nice
well.
and deep, but slides right under like a spy movie, baby. Fantastic stuff. Sends him up the short hop over the punish. But he's eating the boot there. Going to see if he can make a recovery. GP is on the cusp of a fantastic comeback if he can get this stock down. But alas, he does fall first.
Okay, game on here for GP. That Waft is still online. You're on your last stock. You've got to be careful, and you've got to get this stock away now.
See what he can do. GP knows he cannot risk any kind of a punish because it could lead into a Waft. 22. You could be saying your prayers if you don't play those cards right. You see the nairs coming out. You see the up air falling. Rising, baby. Sends him all the way up. The bike is in place. Sends him down, but he's got no way off if he can get off stage. Sends him up. That looks like a bit of a setup, but the up tilt doesn't come through. Instead, the raw down air as the bike is off, but the nair just a little bit too fast.
And he does go for the up air. Let's loose the Waft as well. But GP just a little bit too high, unfortunately, for that to confirm. And now the Waft is gone. GP out of 88. This is not impossible. We know that GP can swing big damage. Go for that dash attack as well. Trying to get a little bit more.
Goes for the retreat, see if he can make his way off. Not quite that safe, but SBF not able to punish either. Trying to read a jump. Instead reads a roll. What a fantastic coverage option. And finally gets to send him out. There's the forward throw. 109 on the Fire Emblem. But the slap will send him flying.
Just smacking that man away. And SBF going up 2-0 here in the set. And things are looking a little bit scary now for GP.
It's definitely touch and go. Or in the case of SBF, touch cloth. But GP really has to come all the way back. He's doing well. He is slowly clawing his way back. A lot of these sets, just one interaction going differently, that could be his game. But does SBF put his foot on the gas and push it all the way? Or does GP still have a bit of fight left in him?
And of course, we are going to small battlefield once again. It is blue skies and a battle is indeed about to be had on this lovely Saturday evening. GP needing to take this game to keep his bracket dream alive, but SBF obviously wanting to clean this up real quick.
What an unhinged opening option, by the way. Immediate falling side B, just straight off the platform. That's the kind of madness we might require here. As once again, GP he's just moving back to that center. He wants to hold that. He wants to force Wario to come into his big, shiny, swordy hitbox.
Absolutely, and this is actually something we are already seeing a change from the other games, where GP was actually more on the aggression in Game 1 and Game 2. But here we actually see him just kind of waiting for SBF to land, picking those moments when to go in, but otherwise keeping his distance and keeping him nice and safe.
Yeah, SBF is just so insane with these tech situations. I don't blame the fella, honestly. And see right there, he couldn't go for a dash attack that really would have bought him a lot of space because there's a big bloody Harley in the way, fellas. Come on! As safe little retreat back to the stage now. Doesn't get caught by the forward tilt that time, but your days might be numbered there, GP, as he sends him up. There's a very early jump. Caught by the dash. No bike in play this time, buddy.
And again, just the burst range of that dash tag, taking away SBF stock here. We are once again going into a very familiar situation where GP is one stock up on SBF. And SBF gonna need to take this one away before GP gets too much going.
Tell me this, Smar. Have you ever walked through a door and forgotten what you're there for? Have you ever waved at someone who is waving to someone else? And have you ever seen GP take the first stock and lose it?
Deja vu, we have been in this position before. We are in the exact same situation as the last two games, as these two even it right back up. SBF taking a small bit of a lead here, getting those falling up airs into the water. It's not going to kill, but it leaves a mark.
And I don't want to use the word fart and sour on VGBC, but yes, that's what it is. Take note. Get the pen and paper out. Hey there, Northern England. You want a stage spike? I'll give you a side B of my own. That one's from the east.
We thought we were saying the same chapter being written once again in this book. But no, GP saying there's a whole new section to be written. He wants this game.
He's looking to right poor SBF, so bitchery at this point, but the return comes out. 12% on the clock. There is going to be a half-charge waft in play, but GP still has old reliable, still has old 156.3 damage Ike. He's just got to survive that long.
Of course, and the threat of the waft is still going to be online at some point very soon.
Fantastic pressure coming out there. Oh, there's the dash attack. Fantastic spacing as well, just to cover those options. Bike is in play, but it's in a nice, healthy position. GP doesn't have to give up much to deal with that as the repositioning comes in. Can you get over this hurdle there, son, or are you going to suffer at the hands of the garlic-munching Mario enemy? Was he an antithesis?
Yeah, kind of an,
yeah, I call him
sort of an anti-hero at this point.
There's nothing heroic going on here as the side B comes through. Can't quite get through that bike as the waft comes out. Very brave, but it might just be your doom.
Oh, and SBF just waiting for that roll in. That's so scary.
There's a future.
Recognizing it.
Future in which it came through. But yeah, you're right. He did recognize, he did adapt, he did just lay there, man.
Okay, he's coming down into this last hit situation. This is big for both players here. You can see that SBF is going for those down tilts. He's trying to keep this Ike off stage. The up comes out to finish, but it's not going to take the stock just yet. SBF hanging on by a little thread. GP still needing to find this kill. SBF still on the hunt for it as well. He wants it. Sends him to the very left side of that blast zone.
The run-off back there was almost it. Tries to mix up there, surprise didn't go for a back throw. Instead, GP has one chance to make it back. There's the roll, but the B misses instead. GP throwing out, he's swinging, he's throwing hands. Baby, it's buy one, get one freeze. He sends him up. Can he find an up air to finish it out?
He finds it, and he finds the up air. Finally, GP is back in this set. The audience is going wild. We're going wild. We have a set on our hands.
We certainly do. The blood-stained hands of GP do not falter just yet. But SBF, he's been dominant. He has shown an unbreakable mentality, an unbreakable game plan. Can GP find the crack he's after? Let's find out.
He's finally got the momentum to take a game, but he still needs to find this one as well. It's a scary position to be in. We are once again going back to small battlefield. Now, let's see what happens in this one. Will things play the same? or will it change for SBF here?
We'll see what we can do. A little bit of a trade going on GP, still just holding that positioning. He really, really values this stage control so much because he's able to cut off so much of it with that big golden blade of his. As the shield is punished by the B, into the barge, into the charge. It's not quite a punish right there. No spike this early there, son. Don't get cheeky now. It's SBF trying to find a little bit of a tilt. Instead, just the reverse of the up air as well. Not something you want to eat.
Okay, both players just trying to find a little moment, just a small opportunity to get their hits in. GP is the one to do it. Finding just a small little bit of damage there, nothing too crazy. And again, both players just, right now, just reset it into that neutral state where they're just waiting for someone to make a mistake, waiting for someone to go in unnecessarily.
Yeah, you can see GP retreating to these platforms a lot, and the reason for that is Ike has fantastic aerials. And runoff aerials are like the most underrated, amazing thing in this game. They are so versatile and so strong. And so if you combine those two together, I'm no mathematician there, Smart, but I can tell you that is a session for success as the back air comes out. Just a little bit too hefty, though.
Yeah, see the lightning, but no kill just yet. So both players trying to find it. And SBF is the one to do it, slapping the sword boy away. Finally taking that first stock, but you just know that GP is trying to find that one here. Gets the neutral air.
Very early air dodge there as well. Luckily, he's got the bike to get him back. A couple of tilts coming out. Doesn't read the roll, but he does get the side B mix-up. To see if he starts relying on that as well, trying to give Sam a little bit of space there as the tilt comes out. Perfect stuff.
Okay, trying to use the eruption. That is not something we've seen a lot of in this set.
And it's not because it hit the bike and he was thrown into stun for 10 years.
Exactly that. That bike, once again, just being a pain in GP's side. A thorn in the literal side there. But, again, and now GP just trying to find this kill. But SBF's just not having it. He's determined to stay alive.
Oh,
but the
what
air
a clash!
dodge, and finally, the eruption actually does what it's meant to do.
About time. Absolute eruption there, and not from the rear end, instead from below. As a second comes out, my goodness gracious me. As well as that quite cancelled it, sends him off. And I really like that GP is really confident with his kill options. You'll see grabs at the end of the stage, and he will not go for back throw because he is not finding kills up the side. He is finding them in the air. He is forcing out early air dodges and then catching landings with those gargantuan hitboxes as a cross up from the barge comes through. Can SBF push that lead? They are so solid. They are so consistent, but Ike really punishes in times of hardship as finally SBF able to cement that lead. Not looking good for GP, but looking fabulous for SBF.
This is a mountain to climb here for GP, especially with all these hits that SBF's going on. He's got a lot of momentum, and it is definitely not swinging in GP's favor right now. He needs to get something going here, but SBF is just not allowing it. Every single time that GP wants to find a way in, SBF is just retreating away, not letting GP have anything. And then any time that GP does do something, SBF is ready and waiting to punish it hard.
Amen to that. You can see SBF going in for these nairs. It's the only real way that he can start this off. As a back air comes out, sends it in. Can't quite force it. SBF is going to start reading those high immediate recoveries with the side B, and if he gets but one there, GP, it could be all over. Can he get the read now? Instead goes down to the ledge. Didn't get quite the fast punish off now, but the roll behind. Sends him up, sends him out. Can we see an early kill here? It could be everything GP needs. The rage is on, but it might just be too late. Bike falls, there's none in play. If you can find an up air, if you can find a back air, it could be it, but the grab comes out, and this could be curtain smart.
Yeah, GP needs to find something really, really quick, but in the end, the back air comes out, seals it up, and SBF will be moving forward in this top 8. 3-1 over GP.
And you may not have been able to hear it, but the reaction from the crowd there is very telling about the weight of this battle. Both of these players have such vocal fan bases, have such dedicated